Welcome to the TakingVegas.com podcast here for Wednesday. Going to do some great recaps of what happened this past weekend. Get you all set up for tomorrow night's NFL opener between Buffalo and LA. We'll start speaking some college football as well. But good to be with everyone here on the podcast, TakingVegas.com, Sports Investors Daily, obviously. And you can catch us here at the website or wherever you hear your podcast. Really going to have some big plans for this podcast as the year goes along and try to help you guys out when it comes to the world of sports wagering and making money, because I have yet to meet a person that does not like to make money. We all like to make money, and there is a way to do it when it comes to sports wagering, but you have to do it smart. So I am Chris Hodge, again here, Taking Vegas Podcast, Sports Investors Daily. Good to be with everyone. It is Wednesday. So let's do a quick recap of some of the games that happened over the weekend. The Boston College Rutgers game really was an annoying game to watch, because you just, the stupidity that goes on with some of these coaches is really unbelievable. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. We had the under in that game, and I was very worried about it, because if the Boston College coach does what he's supposed to do, we're going to lose that under. We happen to win the game. It stays under. But can someone, I don't know, hey, you guys could email me, Chris at TakingVegas.com. Can someone explain this to me? Because I've yet to figure it out. So if you watched the game, or if you didn't watch the game, here's the situation. Boston College gets the ball back down 22-21. They go backwards on 2 of the 3 plays. They end up with 4th and 25 with about 2:20 to go. For some reason, and this was on their own 7-yard line. So they're down by 1, 22-21. They have 4th and 25 at their own 7. They have 2 timeouts left at the time. For some reason, they let the clock run down. They call timeout. That's bonehead play number 1. But mathematically, I don't understand. And I still, if you hear it in my voice, I'm still confused. Why on earth would you punt the ball from your own 7, down 1 with 1:50 to go with 1 timeout? Because that's what they had left after they let the clock run down to call a timeout. There is no way that's supposed to happen. The play there is you're supposed to give up a touchdown. As crazy as that sounds, the punter's supposed to go to catch the ball and literally just drop it and let Rutgers recover the ball in the end zone. You understand what I'm saying here, right? That is the only way Boston College can get the ball back and win that game. The only way. You understand? They're down 1. You give up a touchdown, and they kick the extra point. Now you're down 8. Let's say there's about 1 and 45 seconds left. So you got 1:45 seconds left. You have 1 timeout. You're down 8. Or you punt the ball. You have to burn your timeout, and Rutgers will punt the ball back to you with about 10 seconds left. So we're sitting there and we're on the under in that game. I'm like, here we go. There's no way, because they're supposed to give up a touchdown here. Again, as crazy as that sounds, just in your mind, slow down and think about it. That is the only way for Boston College to get the ball back and win the game. Now, unless you go for it on 4th and 25 and you try to, get a pass interference or some sort of defensive penalty, or maybe a miracle where you convert. But the last thing you're supposed to do there is punt the ball. That's the last thing you're supposed to do. And Boston College punts the ball, which I could not believe. So we won that under. Also in the Boston College Rutgers game was the ever so rare 1st and goal that turns into a punt. You don't see that often. You have 1st and goal, and on 4th down, you have to punt. That's what happened to Rutgers in that game. So we had that go on. Then we had the Florida State game on Sunday night, which was phenomenal. One of the best college games you'll see. But again, this guy, Mike Norvell, man, these lower school coaches, lower conference coaches that come up and coach in the big time, I tell you, I don't know how. I don't know why. If Florida State simply kneels down at the 1-yard line, simply just kneels down and kicks the field goal, they get out of that game with no problems. But no, on the 1-yard line, they decide to pitch the ball for no reason at all. No reason at all. Fumble it. And they give up the touchdown that would have tied the game had they not blocked the extra point. Now, that in and of itself is stupid, right? They could have tried a quarterback sneak, simply kneel down and just kick the field goal and get out of Dodge, be done with it. But no, stupid coaches do stupid things. Norvell is a stupid coach. I don't care what any of you say. I know we're on our radio show, the Sports Investors Daily radio show is on the fly. I don't care. He's a stupid coach, always has been. Okay? And stupid coaches do stupid things. But then you have Brian Kelly come over the top and do something even dumber. After you get a field goal blocked and you've had problems on special teams all night long, you just go on a 99-yard drive. Why on earth are you kicking the extra point? Just go for 2. Go win the game. You got them on the ropes. What are you doing? What are you doing? You just drove the ball 99 yards. There's another guy. You know what they say? Oh, I can't win at this school at Notre Dame, or I can't win at Cincinnati, or I can't win a national championship here or there. No, you can't win a national championship because you're a stupid coach. That's why you can't win a national championship. I don't. Listen, if Kelly was the coach of Alabama, Alabama would be Alabama. Simple and plain. So you had that go on. Utah, Saturday night. And look, this is to me, I know I catch a lot of flack from you guys. I get it. But look, Florida, I know they're ranked now. I think they're 12 or 13 after that win against Utah. Florida is probably the fifth best team in the SEC. Maybe they're fourth. I would go around there. I'm not trying to insult anyone from there either. I already got on Florida State, right? They just beat number 7. And that's how much better the SEC is than everyone else. Utah is the best team in the Pac-12. The best team in the Pac-12. Okay, we'll see what USC is as the season goes along. We'll see what Lincoln Riley does there. But the best team in the Pac-12 just went and lost to like mediocre SEC. That's how much better the SEC is. And again, through the years, Chris, your SEC bias is terrible. You love the SEC. Of course, the SEC is the best conference in college football. Let me make this clear to you, right? The 2 teams that are going to play in the national championship game this year are the 2 teams that played in the national championship game last year. So Alabama and Georgia are going to play in the SEC title game, and Alabama and Georgia are going to play in the national title game. It is what it is. We already know this going in. It doesn't matter what else happens. Ohio State, forget about. Notre Dame, I told you last week, they're now, what are they now? 1-18 in their last 19 games against top 5 or top 10 teams. Forget Notre Dame. Clemson, you see what they did against Georgia Tech? I don't care that they covered the game. Georgia Tech stinks. Okay? And Clemson was lucky to get out of there. Lucky to get out of there. They could have lost that game if they don't get going in the second half. Right? So, yeah, they win and cover. But, Chris, they won by 31. I don't care. They played terrible. If they're playing anyone decent, they lose that game. They lose that game if they're playing anyone decent. Clemson, forget about. Who else? This is the thing about college football. Ohio State, again, I mentioned, forget about. They look terrible against Notre Dame, who stinks. The only 2 teams there are Alabama and Georgia. That's it. That's it. No one else. There's Alabama and Georgia. There's an ocean. And then there's Ohio State. And then there's another ocean. And there's your 4 or 5 second tier, whatever you want to call them, teams. That's what it is. But Utah screws up. Utah could have beat Florida, but all they had to do was kick a field goal and they tied the game at the very least. What do? They call a play where the quarterback has to try to squeeze a ball to a tight end who's their best player, and everyone's looking at this tight end. Again, stupidity at its finest. UTSA was another game we were on. Again, utter stupidity. Now, we cover this game. Now we actually, to be honest, we went 3-1 on this game. We used UTSA first half plus the points. We used UTSA first half money line. We used UTSA plus the points for the game. We used UTSA money line for the game. So we win the first 3. We lose the money line game. And again, UTSA really, they could have not covered that game. But the only time they're really not covering that game, I know they got down 7-0, but they tied it real quick after that. They were covering the entire game. And then what happens to work for them, they just decide not to do. And Houston figured it out. To Houston's credit, they couldn't, UTSA couldn't stop the quarterback running the ball. So they did what smart coaches will do. Even though I don't think the guy from Houston is an overly smart coach, but at least they figured it out in that game. We're just going to keep running the quarterback. So that's what went on. We do lose with Appalachian State. That was a game we had that we lost on. But all total, again, and that's 63-61. I mean, for the love of Peter, holy Christmas. I mean, you got to be kidding me. 63-61. There's going to be college basketball games this year that don't end 63-61. It's unbelievable. You talk about playing defense, man. Boy, I tell you. Yeah, every defensive player should get cut that was involved with that game. That's how bad it was. Defensive coordinator's gone. Go golfing. Do something else, man. So we had that going on. But it was overall a good weekend. And we hope to make it, an even better weekend as it comes up. We're already, working hard here at TakingVegas.com, Sports Investors Daily. There's a free pick right on the website between Baltimore and the Jets. You just click on it here on the website. Or if you're not on the website, just go visit TakingVegas.com. You'll get that pick absolutely free. We got a free pick tomorrow's Buffalo and the LA Rams NFL opener, which should be a great game. It could be a Super Bowl preview. Really, it could be. Obviously the Rams win it last year. Buffalo had that tough loss against Kansas City. Buffalo was favored in the game tomorrow night. So, again, it's going to be a great opener and one that we're excited about. We have it for free here at TakingVegas.com. Again, if you're not on the site right now, just go to TakingVegas.com. For Saturday, we're lined up with the Sports Investors Daily radio show that you hear all over the country. Very excited. We're going to be speaking about Alabama and Texas, Tennessee and Pittsburgh, Houston and Texas Tech. Really excited about those three games. Those will be the free picks on the recorded line for anyone who calls 888-9-WIN-NOW. That's 888-994-6669. Those plays will be available starting on Friday. I'll also do a podcast Friday breaking down the big college games and obviously the NFL games as well. And in terms of, what we try to do here at Sports Investors Daily, it's about teaching people how to wager properly. If you wager like a lunatic, it's like anything else. If you drink like a lunatic, you become an alcoholic. If you do drugs like a lunatic, you become a drug addict. If you gamble like a lunatic, you're going to lose games. It is what it is. You have to have a plan. You have to use mathematics to your advantage. And you have to have a system in place. And you can't be a guy that just needs to bet every single game on the board. I mean, this is not going to work. It just doesn't work. You have to have a money management system. And that's what we try to do here at Sports Investors Daily. Again, TakingVegas.com, same company. We try to get you guys to understand that sports wagering is an investment. It could be a sound investment if it's done correctly. We have our initial investment program. And what this program is designed to do is to make 6 times your initial wager, only risking that initial wager twice. Now, please understand, I've done radio shows all throughout the country since 2006. This is my 17th football season doing radio shows on the concept of sports wagering and sports investing. My 17th year doing it. Not every game is won. Not every week is won. However, the people that have followed and listened and done it the right way, they find success. And it's really, again, it's a system of patience and discipline. So the initial investment program, let's do simple math. Again, I'm not going to get involved with the juice because that tends to confuse you guys. And I get it. It's involved in sports gambling. I get that. But I want you to understand what the process is here. With gambling, there is always an inherent risk. Okay? You're dealing with human beings. You're dealing with referees. There is always an inherent risk that comes with sports wagering. There's an inherent risk with flipping real estate. There's an inherent risk with buying stocks. Just a risk. Anyone who says there's not, just don't listen to it. There's a risk. We try to maximize the profit while minimizing the risk to the best of our ability. So let's say you started with $10,000 and you bet $10,000 on the first game and that game wins. Okay, now you have $20,000 in your hand. You made a $10,000 profit. So you put your own $10,000 up, but now because you won, you have a $10,000 profit. So what you're going to do is you're going to put $20,000 on the second game. Now, remember something. That is still a risk of $10,000. I understand that you're betting 20, but you had already won 10. So you had your 10 plus the 10 you won. So you're still only risking your initial wager of 10 grand. It's a $20,000 bet, but it's truly a $10,000 risk because you had already won $10,000. Now, let's say the second game wins. Now you're sitting on $40,000. Okay? You have one or two options. right? You can pull money off the table, which we recommend. You could either pull $10,000 off the table, okay? Now you have no risk, and you can bet $30,000 on game 3. Now you have the original bet that you started with. You take that back. That's in your hand. That third bet is basically a free bet. Yes, you have $30,000 on the game, and yes, of course, you want to win. We get that. But you have now minimized the risk. You understand what I said about 90 seconds ago? Maximize the profit while minimizing the risk. Please understand that. Maximize the profit, minimize the risk. So, you bet $30,000 on the third game. That game wins. Now you have $60,000 in profit. That's 6 times your initial wager. You started with an initial wager of $10,000. You now have 60, 6 times. You could also, that 40, when you make the first 2 bets, 10 to 20, 20 to 40, you could also pull $20,000 off the table. Now you have profit. You have profit. No matter what happens in that third game, you have profited $10,000. That's 100%. You started with 10, you profited 10. That's 100% profit return over 2 games. So let's say you do that. Let's say, hey, I'm going to pull $20,000 off. I'm just going to put $20,000 on the third game. Fine. No issues. Go ahead. That game wins. Now you have 40. You've already taken 10 off the top of profit. So now you've made 5 times your initial investment. You understand the math? If you have any problems with this, call 888-9-WIN-NOW, 888-994-6669. We'll explain it to you. Had a lot of guys that say, Chris, the hell with it. I'm going for it. You bet 10 to 20, 20 to 40. They don't take any profit off the table. They don't take any of their risk off the table, and they just put 40 on the third game because they're trying to make a score. If you do that, you will have made 8 times your initial investment if all 3 games win. Now, when we do 3-game packages, because we do about 12 of these throughout the season, right? Throughout the gambling year, all right? You're not going to win all 12 game sets. You're not going to win. However, just do simple math. Let's say you win 6 of them, okay? Let's say you turn $10,000 into $60,000 6 times. That's $360,000. Let's say you lose the other 6 times. You lost $60,000. You have a profit of $300,000. So what we're trying to tell you guys is we're trying to impress upon you. Put money aside, tell us what you have, and we put a mathematical concept together for the individual that will help him invest and make the money correctly. That is what we do here at Sports Investors Daily. All right? If you want to bet every single night, we have free picks for you. No problem. But if you want to treat this as an investment, as a business, you might want to get involved with the initial investment program. Okay? And over at TakingVegas.com, man, we are so excited about this site. In about a week, what is it right now? I think it's September 7th when I'm doing this. Wednesday, September 7th. In about a week, the line matchups will be on the site. You'll be able to go click a game, get all different types of matchups for a particular game, whether it be football, college football, when the NBA starts, college hoops. That's going to be really great. Free pick articles will be available at the site. Mostly every big game broken down. We have the podcast that we're doing here, TakingVegas.com and Sports Investors Daily every Wednesday and Friday. We're going to have free pick videos up there, and really just excited to get things started. So TakingVegas.com will be your one-stop shop. You're in the process of making it a site that you can just go to and get all your sports wagering, sports investing information. So really, really excited about that. And in the process, make some guys some money with some free picks. Again, you can just click on at the website the free pick for Baltimore and the New York Jets. That'll be available. And then, for tonight in baseball action, we're going to look at a game here that, a little bit of an underdog. Don't go crazy on this game, but, Baltimore, like them as a little bit of an underdog here. 7 o'clock Eastern time start for Wednesday night. Looks like they're around plus 125 to plus 130. Don't go crazy. It's a free pick, and then you can get that. There's also another free pick available at the website. All you have to do is sign up. You'll get that free pick via text message. And for anyone who does that, they get the free pick on tomorrow's Buffalo-LA Rams game. Again, Buffalo comes in as the Super Bowl favorite for the first time since the early 90s. So we'll see if that works. Buffalo's been close for a couple years now. They've been right there. You know, they've been right knocking on the door. Kansas City knocks them out in heartbreaking fashion last year. They've been right there. They've been close. Is this year to get over the hump? You know, obviously Stafford has some issues with the elbow. They're saying he's all good and ready to go. But listen, anytime you're on a throwing program in the preseason, that's not great. Okay, of course, they're going to come out and say the right things, but it's not great. Obviously, the Rams have a phenomenal defense led by Aaron Donald, who doesn't matter if his career ends tomorrow. He is a first ballot, no-brainer Hall of Fame player. One of the best defensive players, might be, in my opinion, the second best defensive player ever. To me, it's Lawrence Taylor, number one, and then, you know, it's Aaron Donald. The guy just affects the game like no other. Dion was great, but he was a corner, and he could take away one side of the field. He always did. He's certainly a top 5 defensive player. Ray Lewis, another phenomenal defensive player. But to me, it's LT, and then it's Aaron Donald. You know, and the Rams got one of the best corners in the league in Jalen Ramsey. That's going to be a tremendous matchup with him and Diggs. If they move him over to Diggs, because Buffalo has some really good wide receivers as well. But it's going to be a great game. We have it absolutely free. For anyone who signs up at takingvegas.com, you'll get that game texted to you, no questions asked. Last week we went 3-2 on the free college football picks. So excited about what we have going on for the week, and we'll be back on Friday for another podcast breaking down the big college football games, get you set for the NFL as well. And again, free pick here, light, don't go crazy. Baltimore for tonight as an underdog over Toronto. Like that, again, plus 125 to plus 130, somewhere in there. Go sign up at the website. Visit the website for, you know, free picks. Again, the Baltimore Jets game is there, takingvegas.com. And be sure you listen to us on Saturdays and Sundays, Sports Investors Daily Radio Show, man. We're on all over the country, starting at 7 a.m. local time, runs through 12 p.m. or noon Eastern time. Then we're on Sunday, same scenario, 7 a.m. we start. We go right through 12 o'clock, or 1 o'clock actually on Sunday. So that's exciting. And you know, lots of great offers on that show. And again, how to make money throughout the wonderful world of sports investing and sports wagering. This is Chris Hodge for the takingvegas.com podcast, Sports Investors Daily. Have a great Wednesday, everyone. And I'll catch you back here on the podcast on Friday. Enjoy the day, everyone.